Welcome back. This is my second video. You may notice that it's a little different format. The first time I had to do it on my phone, my cell phone, because I had never used video on this particular camera. After 7 years of shooting Fuji as a professional photographer, I had to sell that system, mainly because it was unreliable and I couldn't count on it to perform when I needed it to. For me, a camera is a tool. The ones I get nostalgic about are like my dad's cameras and old film cameras that I have. I'll hold on to those as long as I can. But Fuji, I really wanted to buy into that system. I liked the colors. I liked sort of like the whole community, going back to that kind of old style feel. And then eventually I went on into their more I guess they're all could be used professionally, but I went from the XT4 to the XH2 and 2S, and never got the XT5, but that's when I started having problems on focus issues. So I sold the system and I got into Canon for the first time. I had shot before Fuji. I shot Nikon for about 20 years, and I love this system. This is the R6 Mark II. It's just perfect for what I do. My main gig is concert photography, shooting bands, events, and then I do some real estate MLS photography. As you know, that's a much more clinical type of photography, not a whole lot of interpretation or artistic expression in that form, but it does put food on the table. I'd like to get out of it totally if I could, but you know, if I can't, I can't. And so anyway, I'm learning this system, and I really put this side up mainly because I'm getting ready to turn 78, and I love doing this. I love doing new things. Never thought I'd get on YouTube, but this is interesting, starting out with this system, and I thought I would just bring you along with me. Those of y'all that are just so proficient with this particular camera, this may bore you, but it may be fun too to look at an old dude's perspective on photography after many, many years. So what I want to do today, I'm going to put up some of the photos that I've taken over the last 3 weeks since I've had this camera, and we'll take a look at them. I'm really pleased. I don't invest in real expensive lenses when I get a new camera. I kind of, you know, check it out with less expensive lenses, and I'll tell you, that's another thing that's really surprised me. I got into, these are all non-L lenses from Canon, but I got their RF lenses though. I got the 16-2.8, I got the 28-2.8, I've got the 51.8, and I just got the 85 f2. So I'm going to throw up some pictures that I took with all those lenses, and you know, the style that I do, I'm not a wildlife photographer, I'm not a landscape photographer, I'm not a sports photographer. I shy away from the real high resolution detail type photography, and I have a clientele that hires me because of that style. There's nothing wrong with any style. Whatever is just pure enjoyment for you or puts money in the bank for you, that's you're on the right line. So anyway, let's throw a few of them up here, and I really don't know how to talk under the photos, so we're just gonna find some pretty music to look at them with, and then I'll talk about them when we get back. Okay, we're back. Looking at that very first one, that was a photo shoot I did of a jazz trombone player. And very talented man. I've actually played with him before. I may have mentioned I am a musician also. I'm really sort of a has-been, but as Loudon Wainwright III said, I'd rather be a has-been than I never was. But let me get over to that photo of him. So what I used on that was the 28 2.8. He wanted to get a full shot of himself, shoes to hair. And I got my exposure really just looking to expose him. I didn't care about anything around him. And I decided that would be a really good black and white shot of him, and I was really pleased with the way it came out. I'm looking down here at my phone so I can kind of talk about it as I look at it. So I did the next one that I did was just for my own sake. I asked him if I could take a portrait shot of him, and that one was with the 50 1.8, and there was a really bright light, ambient light coming in behind him from a big window. So what I did is, it made his face look really dark. I exposed for his face, which blew out the highlights behind him, but I think it worked out really well. I've done a little bit of editing on these things, my own style, and eventually I will go over those. The photo of the young lady is, I took it outside a club. She's a performer, and we took it outside the club, her sitting at a table on the front of the club. There are cars driving by and all that. And I really was experimenting more with trying to not get a clinical shot of her. I got the noise. I tried to get some grain and some noise in it by really turning up the ISO and just trying to get her eyes though in the photo. And I used the it was wide open with the 28 2.8, and I did some editing, my style, and I have some presets that I've made for myself, but they're not really working. I'm having to tweak them as I go along. But so basically that's kind of what I'm trying to show here. I'll probably throw some more up. I just got the 85 II, and I'll use it for some portrait work, I'm sure. I haven't had the opportunity to really do that yet. But I went out in the woods in front of my house and did some macro, because that is a macro lens to some extent, of some leaves and things, and I'm going to throw those up here, and you can take a look at those and see what you think. I'd love your feedback on how the L glass is going to improve these photos. I mean, this is so good at this point. I'm not even looking back at the Fuji experience. And also, I've got to say that the autofocus and the eye catch I've got absolutely no problems at all. I'm sitting here for the first time doing video. I am brand new to this, and I feel like it is catching my eye and doing everything it's supposed to do. I've got a weird setup. I'm trying to do YouTube looks here. I've got a little constant tube light behind me back there. That's I've got it on like a blue tone. I've got just an ambient regular old light up there. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm just going to improve on this. Any suggestions you guys have, other than just getting ugly and telling me never to do another YouTube video, I would appreciate it. And give me your experiences on the R6 Mark II. I'm going to have to get another camera. That's the way I work. with 2, and I'm trying to decide what other Canon I want to pick up. I'm excited. I'm doing an event next week. It's a big event for an organization called Music Makers. They support old legendary musicians, and they do a fantastic job. They're having their anniversary banquet next Friday night. There's going to be some great people on the bill, about 162 people there. So I'm looking forward to shooting that, and I'm going to try and do some video, and we're going to put it back up here next week, and you guys can help me critique it and see what we think and how I could improve maybe with the lenses I'm using. I'm not going to buy a zoom yet, because if I buy a zoom, it's going to be an expensive zoom. I'm not going to, hold back on that. But I'm going to see what happens with these primes, and also with lighting. I use when I'm doing events, I use on-camera lighting. Just bounce it off the ceilings or off the walls or whatever. And I have yet to do any studio shoots. I have a little studio set up. It's over there. I got some backdrops, and we'll do some of that. But in the meantime, let me throw up a few of these. I'm not going to actually throw it up. Let me put up some photos of that 85 too.
Remember the days we were young, wild and free, basic getting sprung. We used to dance the night away, hang out the whole next day, laughing, having fun.
All right. Those photos were just some mindless photos of leaves, and I was trying to catch a few bugs, but didn't get any that day. But thanks for sticking around on this one. This is a fun adventure. I'm relying a lot on your feedback too. I've watched hundreds of YouTube videos on photography, and mainly photography, not so much on video, but most of them, they're not doing my style of photography. Oh, the real estate that I do, there's tons of those, very helpful. I'll tell you a site that I stayed on, even though he never even mentioned Fuji, I don't think, was Jared Poland. I love his site. The dude's right on. So he covers it all. In fact, I used his suggestions on getting the settings for this R6 Mark II. I have since changed them up to do what I require from the camera. But as far as video goes, it's all brand new. I'm just having a ball. I'll tell you what, at 78, that's fun. And I may change the name of this channel. I had Photographer 77, but there's lots of those. Who in the world would have thought there'd be a bunch of Photographer 77s? So I'm going to change it to Photographer 78. See what happens there. May have to change it again. In the meantime, thanks so much for taking your time to watch this. Please subscribe and put a like up there. YouTube likes that, and I'd like to grow this channel and maybe see what happens down the line. I think it could be a lot of fun, and that's all contingent on if I'm putting out stuff that you guys want to watch. Anyway, have a great week. It's Monday over here, and I hopefully will get something to you this weekend after that event shoot. Bye-bye.